And then, but just also having some constraints on what we really wanted to get into and not speculating the things we hadn't done. We wanted to focus on the broad goals, our commitments, and some of the things that we've learned, some of our recommendations, and how we plan to work with Chief Outlaw, the Equity University office, and other city players on that. So that's as far as the conversation has gone. If the rest of the members here tonight, we would probably discuss what that would look like. But I do expect us to discuss, to meet with OPB sometime within the next month. You know, we realize that invitation to come be part of it won't be forever. And we also saw it as an opportunity as we try and get more members to PSEP and people that know more about our name, that would be a good opportunity for that as well. We wanted to avoid things like not commenting on certain public issues like SROs or things of that nature. Just really focus on the process of what PSEP has been doing and what our vision is for the future. I will open it up to community thoughts on this though. What do you guys, in a OPB interview, what would you all want to hear from PSEP? What would be things that would be, that you think we should discuss?
Well, I have a question for the It is related to the I can leave until the discussion is finished.
Yeah, I would like to share any thoughts if anybody had on just what, if you were listening to the OPB interview about PSEP, would be things you would want to hear. Any thoughts? What over here? Okay. Let's take your we'll take your media question.
Chair, with all due respect, I did see a tweet that was mentioned about the concern of the PSEP's function, and I'm just wondering if that's going to be discussed here or not.
I'm not sure
I
if
do understand, I don't want to put anyone on the spot, but I do think that it's important that we have an open, transparent discussion so that we can see and develop that trust. But silence breeds suspicion. So I think I want to support the value of transparency.
Yeah, can you elaborate? 'Cause I'm not sure what tweet it was or.
It's a little bit uncomfortable, but there are some concerns regarding meetings where there are certain people who are taking up space and diverting us from the topic at hand. And it's unproductive. And I know that those two individuals happen to be friends with the Proud Boys, and I'm uncomfortable with that, and I think the community is as well. But these people continue to take up space and continue, and the public has been very polite thus far in waiting for these individuals, almost to the point that at one point I decided to step in one of these instances, but I'm concerned about future meetings and if that will continue to escalate how that will be responded to. I don't want this to hurt PSEP's ability to continue to function because time is of the essence, and a lot of people are attending these meetings and are getting frustrated with that time. It seems they not right.
Yeah, we discussed last month and said there was some argumentative words between a couple of the audience members, and I would say our consensus on that is that while there has been some moments of frustration, different ideas, and there's just a lot of input on all of this, but we feel that the conversations have been moving forward, and even though some of the points might not feel as applicable to some of the conversations that it is moving forward, and if we feel that there is something that needs to be done in the future, as far as like mediating the process or adding, you know, other tools to the meetings to help make sure that it's smooth. We'll get there when it happens, but at this point, we feel that things like that are going to happen to a certain degree. We want to make sure everybody's respected. We have our set of values that we put up, and we hope that people follow those. We try and follow them between ourselves. We know this is not an easy topic, and tensions will flare, but we want to handle them as they are and try not to become in a defensive mode where we're adding things or you know, trying to restrict voices. And so as much as we can avoid doing that and listen to these different voices but keep the conversation forward is kind of how we plan on handling at this point. Yes, sir.
I wanted to bring up, you guys were responsible for the Maranatha Church thing, right?
The what?
That Maranatha Church, you know, and this chief and all of them was talking.
Can you, I don't know what you're talking about. No.
That was the thing about that happened at the Maranatha after the concerns about the email, the text messages that were released on the night. But that wasn't,
That was a piece of.
Okay, I was gonna say, the church got bullhorns that Sunday during services.
Yeah, yes, and you know, I think that session I attended it and it was very chaotic. And I pride PSEP for being a solutions-based meeting platform, and I want to continue to keep it that way. That was a really difficult meeting. That was not PSEP though. Yeah. Any other thoughts on the OPB or media requests or input as far as how we should, how you'd like to see us respond to them? Okay, so we're supposed to have a work session to prepare talking points for the OPB discussion. Since we can't do that here, I will ask that the steering committee do it via email and bring those to the March 26th meeting. We can also use some of what we got in the quarterly report as well, which I think will serve as a good basis, another opportunity for talking points for the interview. But I look forward to it, and we will let you guys know and figure out who's going to go on that and do that interview. The next piece on the agenda is the body camera program. Like I said, we heard at the last meeting about that program, and there was a couple, at least 3 community sessions, so which some of our members attended as well. And so the discussion was whether we want to form a special, subcommittee to put these recommendations together. We got the meeting minutes from last meeting, and the idea was that we wanted to put this together in some kind of form of recommendation. What I am going to recommend is that a couple of members do that and put it in the form of like a recommendation to give to PPB as far as what the PSEP's thoughts were, which will include our member thoughts and also what the community said as well. As I mentioned before, we got a lot of community feedback on that. I'd like to open it up to comments on that.
Is the work session going to be public?
Would you like it to be?
I can't speak for everyone, but I would be interested. I am concerned, so.
Yep.
You know me?
Yeah, so I'll make that recommendation that again, if we be here at the PSEP office, we find some time between now and then to assemble all of those, and if people would like to join and be a part of it, I don't see a problem with that. And Judith, maybe the point too.
Well, I was thinking about the body camera presentation and the PSEP report, going back to the report. At the meeting before, when Tammy came to the meeting to talk about the presentation, I believe it was Lakeisha said she'd seen it before, and she didn't feel like that format worked for her, where it was the long presentation with the slides. It feels to me that was actually a recommendation on how to engage the community to the police. And I'm wondering if you want to think about formalizing that as a recommendation, since that's one of your core pieces, is to advise on how to work with the community, maybe get some more thoughts from Lakeisha and others about what it was that she preferred and why it worked better for her and others in the community.
So just to get all that down,
And I can follow up with you on that too, but.
yeah, advise on recommendations on how to make public presentations more, what would you say?
Well, I think it was specific to the body camera presentation that, requested a different format for the presentation based on concerns about the way it had been done previously.
Mhm. So change the.
And again, I think we maybe get some more of those thoughts from Lakeisha, like what didn't work for her, because she just shorthanded it to say more time for talking and questions.
So the example would be the PPP body camera issue, but it could apply to any future presentation.
Yes, and if you write it up as a, for the community, for the communities that are represented on PSAP, at least for some people, they preferred a different modality of presentation, to have engagement to be able to get their feedback.
Okay, perfect, I got that.
I'd like to ask that that you guys bring up the fact that that the groups should be non-political.
Which groups?
All the precept groups, including this one, should be non-political. I heard someone say something about 2 Proud Boys at one of the groups or something, and I haven't seen any Proud Boys at any of these groups. And so I just want it to be where everyone can attend, whether they're conservative or liberal. Everyone should have the right to be able to come and voice their opinion.
Yeah, absolutely, and that is the policy and how we represent PSAP, so thank you for that.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Sir, could you briefly summarize the body camera program?
Yeah, so the body camera program is a pilot project that PPP is going to be doing to test out body camera use on their officers here in Portland. And it was tried maybe 2 to 4 years ago, and for a number of reasons didn't end up going through.
Well, I assume for police forward.
No, that's I think the officers that responded to the Portland PSU shooting, or the incident that ended up with the guy shot. I don't know what age they were from, but they were wearing body cameras. But the PPP officers did not wear body cameras this one.
We got a seaside.
Yeah. There's a lot of issues and thoughts and ideas behind it, and one of the things that a number of PSAP members felt, the community felt, was that they didn't have enough time to digest all of it, which I think might have played into the delay on it being voted on this Thursday as far as the pilot project. So that's kind of where it's at, looking at how they're going to roll it out, what software to use, all those things. And so we had a presentation last meeting about all that. We just took a minor question on it.
What is PSAP's position?
PSEPs, that's what we're looking to write up, and there was no recommendation either for or against it, but just a number of concerns as far as like how is the data stored, what are the policies as far as if someone being in a video that's not a part of the crime that's being done, but might be doing another crime, might be involved in something, all legal, logistical things of that. And then just the concern also of more video being recorded by the police, and will that help, will that hurt? So that's where we're at. Yeah.
The Portland Police Bureau really has a great webpage on this, and if you go, it shows the whole presentation. The Portland Police Bureau website, they actually put up a lot of the materials so you can see the whole presentation.
Thanks for the question too. Great, any other questions on the body cameras? Okay, update on alternates. I actually don't have that update. Can you tell us anything about what that is looking like?
Yes. So Brad Taylor, one of the facilitators from the beginning retreats, is contracted to do the alternate process. The deadline for the applications were last Friday. I'm glad you jumped in at any time. And I think we got about, so we contacted all the people who had applied to be on the PSEP last year and asked them that weren't chosen for interviews and asked them if they were interested in being reconsidered. And so those who responded to that are back in the pool. And I think we got at least 10 new applications.
Yeah, no,